My name is Nathan Little Dog, or as Mike would call me, Little Big Dog. And I just wanted to share a little more about myself that I didn't share in the typed up version of my bio. As it stated, I was born and raised here in Kalispell, Montana. And early on in life, I was getting bad labels from doctors. They said that I'd probably never walk or crawl because of my legs being born the way they were. And so, I mean, I actually had several operations where they broke them and reset them, and as you can see, I can walk fine today. But with that came a lot of like teasing and a lot of negative things from other kids and even adults. So that kind of affected my confidence, it affected my self-esteem, and affected who I thought I was. And it also affected my relationship with God itself, or Him Himself, because I had this huge grudge with Him up until I was like 26. Because of those legs and the teasing and all that stuff, I didn't want anything to do with the guy. I was like, you know what, he's got this big grudge against me or whatever it is, so I'll just keep going my way, he can do his own thing. And so obviously that led into a lot of drugs, alcohol use, which I started pretty early. I think the second or third grade I started smoking cigarettes and pot and all that other crazy stuff. And by the time high school came around, I didn't even go into the school. I just ride the bus to the school and I'd cross the street and go party. And obviously that didn't help my education any. But I would just skip school and we'd throw parties either in a car or else somebody's parents, they didn't care what we did, so we'd go over there and do crazy stuff all day long, or go commit crimes. And this went on all the way through high school. I dropped out in like the 10th grade or something like that, because they said if I missed another day of school, they're going to kick me out. I'm like, okay. And I had all intentions of going into school, but the police saw me and my friends doing something we shouldn't have been doing, and I was late, so well, I guess we're out of school, guys. And from there, I just got really heavy into methamphetamines and cocaine and hallucinogens, and I'd be up for weeks at a time, and just didn't look human for after a week or so of no sleep. So my family started wondering what's going on with me, and I was losing like dramatic amounts of weight. Like, I mean, obviously I'm not too small now, but I was pretty skinny back then, and they were pretty concerned, and I just didn't want to hear anything about it. I didn't want to change my life because I figured that's the goal. And when I turned 18, I got this large sum of money from the tribe because I'm an enrolled member, and that didn't last a month. I partied the whole thing away, and I had all kinds of friends then because they were getting high too. So, but once the money was gone, so were the friends. And I just didn't have good association back then. I didn't have people that would lead me to the right things, who would tell me who God really was. And the reason I got sober was because of a DUI, and then I was also arrested in a meth lab a few months later. They, after the meth lab, I was like, I should probably rethink where I'm going with my life here. And when I did that, it still took me a few months to really get serious about it. And then I went through a 12-step program and also a 12-step treatment center. And I managed to stay sober for 6 years that way, but nothing really changed on the inside. I mean, externally things looked good. It looked like life was going somewhere, but it really wasn't. Because I still had that major grudge against God, even though, whoever's familiar with 12-step things, I mean, the 4-step didn't do it, and neither did the 5th step with God. And so after 6 years of sobriety, according to those programs, I got associated with the wrong people. Like I stated before, I went and I bought cocaine to try to make a car payment, and people didn't know me, so like, well, you better do something with me to prove you're not a narc, or somebody's going to go rat me out. I'm like, okay. So I did it, and off to the races I was for another 8 months. And within 3 days, I was back into everything, which is what I believed was true because of the all the 12-step programs. They would say, well, you're going to start off right where you left. And according to them, it was true. But not knowing who God was, I mean, I could have walked away from it. But after 8 months of getting into that, I was hurting enough because there was a woman that I was going to marry, and we broke up. So I was like, well, I'm hurting enough to go God's route. I was like, okay, I'll go wherever you take me. So I called this place in Seattle, and they're like, well, we will actually make room for you. You just get on the train, and we'll pick you up, and we'll just kick somebody off the bed if we have to make sure you got a place to stay. And I kind of had an idea it was about God, but like I said, I was hurting enough to go there. And when I got there, I was like, okay, the house wasn't the greatest. It was kind of run down. And I was like, oh man, I made a mistake, didn't I? But after that weekend, after going to 3 services, like, no, I made the right decision. And probably by the end of that year, because I got there in November, by the end of the year, my whole mind was changed about God. And from there, after 2 years of being in Seattle in a Christian recovery home, I realized I actually moved back home, and I was having a hard time finding a place that matched up to what I was used to in Seattle. Being as spirit-filled as it was, getting the right message that I was getting there, and somewhere along the lines, I think I met Kurt and Katie at this Fresh Life in a small group, and I knew them a little bit before, but since then, we've spent 4 years, and we've been building a really good relationship, and as you can see, we're doing big things because God's called us to it. But I know now I don't have anything nearly negative about God, nothing at all. I know now He's 100% for me. Like Jeremiah 29:11 says, His plans are to prosper me and not to harm me. He wants to give me hope and a good future. And before I was like, this guy wants to ruin my life. He keeps putting me in jail. He keeps, putting me in bad situations. But it was my own stupid thinking that did that. And I'm just grateful for where He's taken me. And I look forward to seeing what He's doing with Good News Academies. I mean, like I said before, it's a vision to be in all 50 states in the next 10, 15 years or less or whatever. And I'm just excited to see the people's lives change, because I know since I've built a relationship with God, life has never been the same. I have the right people around, I have the right mindset, and my heart's changed about everything. I'm nowhere near as negative as I used to be. Bondages that used to hold me up, they're not there anymore. I don't have to deal with them. I mean, Jesus died for them, so I could walk freely because of it. So, anything else I should?
Good.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.